Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, Ms. Sunita and Mr. Rohani. Today I would like to present chapter 7, Teaching Across Proficiency Levels. Here's the contents in this chapter. The first one, defining proficiency levels, consists of FSI or ILM levels, IELTS SPEM scale, ACTFL proficiency guidelines, and also the Common European Framework. The next one is teaching beginning levels, intermediate levels, and also advanced level. The first one, defining proficiency levels. The first one is FSI or ILR levels. These levels to address the standard of oral proficiency for government workers. And also the key speaker is judged to possess speaking proficiency. I will say the fluency, pronunciation, social linguistic, cultural knowledge, grammar, and also the vocabulary that falls into one of these specified levels. The next one is IELTS SPEM scale, assess listening, speaking, reading, and also the writing. And the IELTS SPEM scale standardize a system of tests and define broadly 10 different levels of ability starting from zero level, did not attempt the pace until 9, the expert user. The next one is ACTFL Proficiency Guidelines. ACTFL Proficiency Guidelines stands for American Council on Teaching Foreign Languages. It's one of the leading national organization of foreign language pedagogy in the US. And recognize proficiency standards in many language teaching circles, and this also proficiency levels in the listening, speaking, reading, and also the writing. And the ACTFL guidelines were created to guide any test maker in the process assessment. The last one is the Common European Framework or CEFR. CFR defines competencies for best users of a language, independent users, and proficient users, splitting each one of those three categories into two subcategories. It specifies competencies for listening, speaking, reading, and also the writing. Some of the subcategories are very detailed, such as main category of discourse competence. Here's the 10 factors to teach beginning, intermediate, and also advanced levels. The first one, students' cognitive learning process. The second one, the role of the teacher. And then the teacher taught, authenticity of language, fluency and accuracy, student creativity, activities and tasks, then listening and speaking goals, then reading and writing goals, and the last one, form focus instruction or FFI. First, 10 factors to teach beginning levels. The first one, students' cognitive learning process. In these factors, the teacher can encourage the students to reach beyond simply repeating words or phrases to practice the target language. And also focus on the purposes of using the target language, not on the forms of the language itself. And the role of the teacher is taking students' focus by giving pair work or group work. And teacher control all of the class time or class activity. And the next one is teacher talk. Teacher needs to be heard naturalness and talk with a clear articulation. And also teacher can use a simple vocabulary and structures that are slightly beyond their level. The next one is authenticity of language. These factors, the teacher can make a simple greetings and introduction so that easily to understood. The teacher can make a simple phrases or limited to short and present the students' language that is authentic as possible. For the five factor, fluency and accuracy, the teacher can give the opportunities of the students for the students to practice freely and openly without fear of the mistakes. And pronunciation is more important at this stage. The next one is student creativity. To teach beginning levels, students can be creative only within the confines of highly controlled of language. Innovation will come later when students get more language under their control. The next one is activities and tasks. The teacher needs to make a short or simple technique must be used in the class, and choral repetition and other drilling are appropriate for teach beginning levels. And also group and peer activities are excellent techniques in the teaching beginning levels. The next one is listening and speaking goals. Notice that listening and conversation functions for beginners are meaningful and authentic communication tasks. So teacher can engage the students to have the listening and conversations functions for the beginners. And it can be achieved with a very uncomplicated language. The next one is reading and writing goals. Reading and writing topics are confined to brief but nevertheless real life written material. And the teacher need to notice the students' literacy level in their own native language. The last one is form focused instruction or FFR. FFR. The teacher do not explain over grammatical rules to the students because it can easily overwhelm the students. Inductive approach to grammar will be suitable examples or patterns. It can be more effective to the beginning levels. And at this level, some vocabulary internalized through analogy and also the meaningful use in different contexts. Here are the 10 factors to the intermediate levels. The first one, students' cognitive learning process. In this level, the teacher can engage the students directly in the second language or in the target language. Meaningful communication in the target language will be increased. And also phrases, sentences, and also structure have been practiced in this level. The role of the teacher in this level is no longer the only initiator of language. Students will be encouraged to ask questions, make comments, or negotiate certain options in the learning where appropriate. And the role of the teacher is engage the student to have the interaction between student and student interaction or communication in the class activities. For teacher talk in this level, teacher can use the second language at this level and using less of the native language at this level. And the most important is the clear articulation when talking to the students. And also teacher can give the opportunities or chance to the students to talk or to use the target language. The next one is authenticity of language. At this level, students sometimes become overly concerned about grammatical rules. So teacher can help students to develop clear articulation of one's speech. And also, the next one is fluency and accuracy. In the teach or teaching intermediate levels, teacher helps students to say or write correctly. And fluency exercises are a must in this level. Student creativity. The teacher need to try to recognize the form of creativity as a positive sign of language development. And also make sure teacher helps students to notice their errors. So students are also becoming more capable of applying their classroom language to unfair situation. The next one is activities and tasks. In this level, teachers can use a common interactive techniques for intermediate include peer interview, group problem solving, role plays, and etc. And for listening and speaking goals, students can participate in a short conversation. At this stage, students can often understand much more about learning materials. And for reading and writing goals, students experience increasing complexity in terms of length, grammar, and discourse. And also, student can read the paragraphs or simple stories that use skimming and scanning levels. It can appropriate to teach the intermediate levels. And the last one is poem-focused instruction or FI. In this level, grammar topics such as progressive tenses and clauses typify intermediate level teaching. And also, students can benefit from simple explanation of points in English. So the teacher do not overdo the grammar analysis or over explanation about grammar rules. Here's the 10 factors to teach advanced level. The first one, students' cognitive learning process. Students can realize the full spectrum of processing. They can process the sentence, paragraphs, and also long paragraphs. Students are able to convey their thoughts and feeling in the instructive communication. And for the role of the teacher, teacher led students question and self-generated curiosity to take over in the class. So teacher as the directive role can create the effective learning opportunities to students to use the target language. And for teacher talk, in this level, the teacher need to make sure students have the opportunities to use the target language. And teacher also can provide the feedback to the students. A natural language and a natural speech is a must at this level. And teacher will resort to a word or two in the native language if the students feel stuck. The next one is authenticity of language. This factor, virtually not authentic language material, should be similarly disqualified at this stage. Everything from academic prose to literature to idiomatic conversation becomes a legitimate resource for the classroom. And the next one, fluency and accuracy. A handful of the two of problems still need attention. If errors are relatively rare, an occasional treatment from teacher or from peers may be quite helpful to sharpen the fluency and also the accuracy. The next one is student creativity. The students are able to apply classroom material to real contexts and also make sure that students keep their eyes fixed on the goals to use the second language or the target language in the class. The next one is activities and tasks. Techniques can tap into a full range of sociolinguistic and pragmatic competencies. And this level will focus on the purposes as much as possible. And also typical activities like group debates, argumentation, writing essays, or the complex role plays. And for listening and speaking goals, at this level, students can focus to sociolinguistic nuances of language and pragmatic constraints areas needing work as students fine-tune their production and comprehension about the material. And the next one is reading and writing goals. Reading and writing skills similarly progress closer and closer to the native speaker competence. So students learn critical reading, the role of schemata in interpreting written text, and also writing a document. And the last one is prompt-focused instruction or FFI. Linguistic meta-language may now serve a more useful role as the students perceive its relevance to refining their abilities. And in this level, well-targeted form-focused instruction will often be extremely effective at this level. That's all for the presentation. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.